Well, hello there everyone. Good morning. Welcome to another writing vlog. There's no point to this writing vlog. I'm gonna get that out of the way right now. Finished the book that I was drafting about a week and a half ago. So this is the writing vlog of I'm not really writing anything right now. I am writing things, but this is kind of a what does writing look like when I'm not really working on anything. Already miss having that singular focus. I feel like there's been something missing. Oh, also ignore the sound of my extremely loud laundry machine in the background. Literally sounds like a helicopter is landing in my apartment. Already I am missing the sense of focus and purpose in my life. So I'm kind of have a few different things in the works and none of them really have any sort of urgency. So I thought I would kind of just do a writing vlog, try and capture what do I do when I just finished a book or I'm in between projects, especially in this case because I just finished a book, so I'm trying not to rush into anything too intense. What do I have on the go? So I am trying to have a short fiction era. I have literally like 3 ideas for short stories that I would like to write. I am working on a draft of one of them, but I think I'm just struggling with, like, it hasn't really clicked. I think for me with short fiction, once it clicks and I can just hear the voice, it just flows so easily, but sometimes it takes a long time for that to happen. And with this story in particular, I love the concept so much. Right now I have a vision for what I want it to sound like and feel like. I'm not really necessarily like tapped into it yet. I did actually write a short story on Friday. I think I've only written a full short story in like one sitting once before in my life. I had actually sat down to work on the story that I'm currently drafting. So the story that I'm currently working on that I'm struggling with a little, it's called You Are Contractually Obligated to Withstand Violence. It's about a former stock image model who's kind of like slowly being driven insane because she can't escape her own face. Like everywhere she goes, she just sees herself. So I think the story is going to be structured around these like increasingly bizarre ads that she keeps seeing herself in. I want it to be a bit surreal, kind of Alexandra Kleeman-esque. If you've read You Too Can Have a Body Like Mine. And then the story that I wrote in one day is called Our Mother's House. And on that day, I actually sat down to work on You Are Contractually Obligated. I started just randomly hearing this other story that I think I just gotten the idea for the day before very randomly, and I just wrote the whole thing. I felt like that story is a bit of a throwback to like my older style of short fiction. It almost felt like 2017 to 2019 era. So anyways, I'm trying to work on a short story. I'm also doing a draft of Holding a Ghost right now. This would be draft 6. Does it need a full draft? Probably not. My issue with Holding a Ghost is just that there are a few chapters or scenes that I'm not really happy with. Could I just go fix those chapters? And would it take way less time? Yes. However, am I gonna just do a whole draft that's mostly just reading it because I'm quite happy with most of it? Also, yes. And is that just because I feel like I need structure and working on a novel is the way to do that, and Holding a Ghost is my comfort project and makes me feel very happy to work on? Yes. So I'm doing a full draft of Holding a Ghost, and by that I mean mostly just reading it over, I guess line editing as I go, and then just stopping to work on the few chapters and scenes that I'm not really happy with. That's, I guess, the main thing, but it's not going to take long because doing a full draft of that book really doesn't take very long because it's not a very long book. I'm also leaving for like almost 2 months of traveling at the end of the month. I have like I have a camping trip right when I get back from that camping trip. I'm going to Europe for 6 weeks. I had had this camping trip booked for ages, and then I'm going to Europe for a work retreat. Well, the work retreat's only 4 days long, but because of that, I got a free flight to Europe. You know, if someone's gonna pay me to fly to Portugal, you best believe I'm gonna make the most of that. However, that happens to be like 3 days after I get back from my camping trip. So I'm going to be so exhausted and probably not really write that much. I am going to visit a friend for a bit while I'm in Europe, for like actually quite a while. I might do some writing while I'm visiting her. The final thing I'm working on is I am doing world building and preliminary stuff for my new fantasy project that I'm working on. I've been having a lot of fun doing that. Know when I'm actually gonna start writing it. Oh, hi Muffin. I've basically just been doing the pre-writing. Obviously, because it's fantasy, there's so much more pre-writing than I would normally do, because normally for pre-writing, I would kind of just like let it sit in my brain and come up with as much stuff as I come up with. I don't force it normally. But because it's fantasy, there's a lot that I kind of need to figure out. There's so much world building. I've really been enjoying doing the world building. It's quite fun. I have a lot of little things that I'm working on at the moment is basically what there is to say about that. But I don't really have any kind of singular focus to my life. But what's new? They are cuddling. Are you guys cuddling? This makes my heart so happy. They have been best friends for a long time, but only in the past week have they decided that now they are in their cuddling era, because they used to they would sleep next to each other and stuff. I don't know. They decided apparently about a week ago that now they cuddle, and every time I walk into the room, they're always just cuddling with each other. Are you guys in love? Do you love each other? Yes, you do. This makes me so happy. Other than the fact that my cats cuddle with each other, which is really important, what's new? I had a really long filming day today. I'm the only one home today because both my roommates are out of town. I needed to film a bunch of stuff to have videos to post while I'm away on vacation. I still have 2 that I'm gonna try and do to film tomorrow morning, but one of them might take a really long time, but I just do not have the energy because I filmed for 5 hours today. Pretty tricky for me to film when other people are home. It just makes it very inconvenient for them because they have to be quiet. The house that I live in, it's quite new. It looks nice. It's quite a new house, but my landlord's built it to rent, and so they cut corners. There's not quality. There's zero soundproofing in this house, and it's very echoey, and so any noise, if someone wants to use the kitchen, it's super loud in my video. In terms of writing, what have I been doing? I've been working on Holding a Ghost edits, which I've been enjoying. They're very casual edits. I'm basically just reading the book and doing not even that many line edits. I thought that I would do more cuts. After I did so many cuts to Honey Vinegar, I thought that I would be doing more significant cuts on Holding a Ghost. The style of that book is already so compact that I'm just not finding much stuff to cut. I don't know, maybe the book is the length it's supposed to be. Maybe it's not supposed to be much shorter. So I might do a little bit of that this evening. I'm pretty wiped from filming so much today. I might feel better after dinner and maybe a walk or something, but I'm not really rushing it. And then I don't know, that's probably what I'll work on if I work on anything. I don't feel like I really have the energy to work on that short story. When I'm not really working on a significant project, it's harder for me to do something write every day or most days. When I'm in the middle of a draft, a first draft, it's pretty easy for me to write almost every day, just because you get into that flow, that momentum. My brain likes to be consistently writing things. We'll see. I think it would be good if I could find some kind of consistency with something, but I kind of haven't really been able to find that at the moment. Hello. So it is the next day. Like I talked about yesterday, I had a really big filming day, which, I mean, you guys will be seeing the fruits of that labor over the next few months. I was really pretty exhausted from that. I had plans to do a little more filming this morning. One of the videos that I was planning to film, I ended up filming last night, and I thought that there would be a potential that my footage would be way too dark because the sun was setting, but it's actually not that bad, and so I think I'm going to try and kill the perfectionist in me and just roll with it. And then the other video that I had planned to film today, to be honest, I think is just too labor intensive. Given that I put so much work into filming yesterday, I'm not really gonna bother today. Yes, I could refilm that one video and the lighting would be better, because look how good, this is natural light right now. Look how good the lighting is right now. It's really good. I think with this channel sometimes, a lot of the time I don't really care. A lot of the time I'll be oh, don't have a video for the week. It's fine. But there are other times where I get so fixated on creating content for this channel because I'm going away for so long. For some reason I got it in my brain that I was you have to have videos every single week that you're not going to be here, and it's it's fine if there's a week with no videos. So I think today I would rather just have a writing day, work on Holding a Ghost probably, and not really worry. I think sometimes with my channel I'm very chill about it. It's all or nothing. Sometimes I'm very chill and I'm oh, no video this week, whatever. Oh, that video's been out of focus, let's post it. Whereas other times I'm very perfectionistic about it. Opportunities to film are the hardest part of keeping this channel consistent. Editing the videos, not really a problem. It really, the thing that's hard is finding times to film. And then making sure that when I have times to film, I make the most of them, and also that I have videos scripted and ready to go, because it's really hard to find times to film where there's no noise outside, where either no one else is home or they're able to be quiet for several hours. So often that I set up to film and then someone starts using a saw, or my neighbors downstairs start blasting the TV and I can't film. And so I think because when I have those times, and see, that's the thing, I'm having one right now in a rare moment of peace. It is so quiet today. Part of me is you should be using this time to film. You should be using it to get a better version of that video you filmed yesterday where the lighting was bad. Ultimately, my writing is the more important task to me than this channel. Sorry guys, but it's true, it is. Not every single day of your life can you prioritize like every single thing. Yesterday I prioritized this channel, and so part of me today is like, you have to do it again because you have the chance. Maybe another reason why I got so obsessed with making videos for this channel is because I don't have a big writing project right now. I don't have a big writing project to dedicate all my time to, so I'm gonna do that with this channel. See, I have this draft of Holding a Ghost, but it's just so light. I've worked on it briefly a few times and I'm halfway through part 2, so it's gonna go by pretty quickly, I think. So I ended up refilming the video. I know I said I wouldn't, but I just felt like it was bothering me and I felt like I could get better footage, and then I just got to the end and I realized I didn't have my mic plugged in. I mean, there's the mic on the camera, but it's not very good. I'm having just kind of a nothing day, honestly. I have done nothing. I feel like I've been in kind of a bad mood. I feel like yesterday I really kind of overworked myself. Filming is really exhausting. It's a really exhausting thing. You're talking to yourself and you're kind of like on for a long time, and I feel like I kind of burned myself out, and I just feel like I thought that I wouldn't have time to do it today, and so that's why I just powered through and did all of it yesterday when I easily could have split it up yesterday and today. I would have had time today. Earlier I said I wasn't going to refilm, but I feel like my perfectionism has been really just like kind of on today, so I was like, no, I'm going to refilm it because it's going to bother me and I might not have another chance. So I refilm it. I forgot to turn my mic on. Okay, so what was the point of that? And then I start to go edit one of the videos that I filmed yesterday, and the audio is terrible. I don't know why, because I didn't change the settings on my mic. I'm just like really frustrated because I filmed 2 months worth of videos yesterday. Really exhausted myself. I've been exhausted all day today. So either I have to suck it up and post these videos with terrible audio, or I have to find a time to refilm them. I probably won't even have another time to refilm them before I leave on my trip. And so I'm just like really annoyed. I've just been in a bad mood. I feel like I really burned myself out for what? To film 2 months worth of videos with terrible audio. I haven't done any writing today. I just have had no energy. I had to go to the grocery store today because, well, I should have gone to the grocery store because I have no food. I was like, I cannot be bothered. I'm just gonna scavenge. So I haven't really done anything today, which, I mean, it's fine. I've had a lot of things to do lately, and I feel like I kind of had a clearer to-do list, so I didn't really have to do anything today. It's fine, but I feel like I've just spent the day stewing how annoyed I am over the fact that I worked so hard yesterday. It was probably like almost 8 hours of filming yesterday, which was so exhausting. I had no voice. It didn't even turn out well. I haven't even done any writing in this video yet. I don't know. I don't even know what the point of this is. This has nothing to do with writing. I'm just ranting. People don't really have a sense of the obstacles that go into running this channel consistently, and I honestly don't even know how I managed to put out a video almost every week with how hard it is to find times to film. It's so hard. So when I have an amazing opportunity, I have 2 days that I can film stuff, waste one of those days filming everything that I have scripted, and it turns out badly. Don't check the audio first, which is like YouTube 101. And then the second day, I'm just like so exhausted that I don't even make use of it. I'm just annoyed with myself. I still want to edit a bit of Holding a Ghost. Today, I also didn't really take any time to recharge because I just feel annoyed with myself. I don't know, there's no point to this. Point, I guess, just to say pace yourself with your workload, because as I've been filming this clip, I've been feeling like it's ridiculous that I'm this upset about it. It is really frustrating to do work and have it not turn out well. The filming for this channel really stresses me out. I like making videos, but because it's so hard to find times to film, like, I kid you not, sometimes a window to film will not come up for months. If I don't use these videos, that's like months worth of that I can't post on this channel. I am hoping that working a little bit on Holding a Ghost will make me feel better, because I think it'll make me feel like I accomplished something. You know, of all my writing projects, probably the one that makes me feel the most like comforted to work on. Hello there. My bad mood is better. It's several days later. Last time I filmed the clip, I was in such a bad mood, which, like, I don't blame myself. It is really frustrating to do a bunch of work, realize you screwed it all up. Kind of worked that out. I'm just gonna use the camera audio. Sunday, I started working on Holding a Ghost more, and that helped. Combination of I felt like I'd actually done something. I felt like I'd been productive and succeeded at something, even if it was just reading my book over. This book I really enjoy working on it. It's probably the project, maybe of anything I've ever written in my life, I enjoy just like reading over the most. I'm halfway through part 4 out of 6 parts, so there's only a few days left of work. My goal is to finish part 4. I might go climbing later, we'll see, but I definitely think I can finish part 4 today because I'm like halfway through it. So then there's only 2 parts left. It's not that much. As I've gotten deeper into the edit, I do feel like the edit is actually doing something. Like, I think I said several times earlier in this video that I felt like this edit was almost pointless. Like, it's like, why are you reading over your whole book when there are like basically just like 5 scenes that you need to edit? Part 1 is honestly just very clean. Later parts of the book haven't been as thoroughly edited, or they were edited more drastically, and so as a result they're messier because things have been moved around a lot. Later in the book there are a lot of scenes that I added on the previous draft I did, and so they're essentially first draft scenes. I am actually really glad that I decided to just read the whole book over, because later in the book I had done more drastic structural editing, and so the scenes are a little bit messier. So I'm actually really happy that I'm taking the time to like actually comb over the whole book throughout the middle to end. There's a lot of dialogue that's a bit messy, like dialogue that kind of goes on too long and just doesn't feel like it's ever been edited. And then there's also, I think, a bit of like thematic messiness. Pretty emotional, idea-based book. And so I think that there are some parts where those sections they go on too long, and it feels like the point it's making is unclear and maybe even is starting to contradict itself. I just had never really edited it so that like the point of these more idea-driven sections is actually clear within themselves and also within the larger narrative. I feel like the edits I'm making in this draft are quite subtle. They're very small. There's nothing structural. It's just scene-based stuff, and even then it's pretty small, but I do feel like they are little tweaks that are making a difference. There's really only one structural thing I want to do, and it's very subtle. And I think with that I'll feel that the structural aspects of the book are where I want for now. I mean, again, I wasn't doing this draft to make structural edits, and so that was not the point. Stuff that I adjusted on previous drafts, this was more just like fine-tuning a layer, you know? Like, I feel like when you get into later drafts, each layer, as subtle as it is, makes like a big difference. It's like, what's that? You know, the last 20% looks like the last 80%. I think it's very much the case with editing a book. Those later drafts where you're kind of just polishing and, you know, adjusting sentences and cutting words, or maybe fine-tuning word choice. I feel like that is really where you get a lot of clarity on what the story is about and what the story is saying and the purpose of everything, and it feels like crisp and intentional. So I feel like I'm kind of at that stage with editing this book, which is really exciting. My goal for the year was to get the book ready to go on submission by the end of the year, and I think I can definitely do that. Yesterday I also, in the evening, I just kind of randomly read a bit of Saltbirds. Like, I just scrolled through the draft and just read a few scenes. Don't know what compelled me to do that, to be honest, and it was kind of the first time that I'd looked at it since I finished the book, given that that was only a few weeks ago, and I really enjoyed reading it over. It made me really excited to read the book, because that is my first planned step for my edits, is to just read the book over, and like, I'll do line edits as I go, which I know seems backwards, like to do a line editing draft before you do a structural draft, but I have not read this book over. So I outline as I write, because I'm a discovery writer. So I was outlining the book as I was writing it, but this time I wasn't editing as I wrote. Normally I would edit and outline as I wrote, but in this case I was just editing, and so I'm a bit lost on what actually happens. Like, I couldn't really recall the order of things. I think I just need to start by rereading it in order to pick out the problems that I can address in my first developmental edit. So that's my first step, but having now read the book over, I'm really excited to do that, and so I'll probably do that fairly soon. It's a little tricky because I'm preparing for like several big trips back to back. I don't really know when I'll have the time to reread Saltbirds. I would like to do it fairly soon, and it probably won't take that long. So maybe I'll have a chance to do it before I leave, but I honestly don't know. Hello, welcome to the same spot, and I think I'm wearing the same thing, but it's actually a week later. I'm gonna close off this vlog in concise, efficient fashion. I finished, well, actually I did not finish my draft of Holy Ghost. I finished reading over the book. I have 2 tiny little adjustments left that I need to go make, so I'm gonna do that today and the draft will be done. I don't think it's like 100% there, but I do think that it's close. I think the last part of the book is the shakiest, and I think it's because the themes in this book are kind of subtle, and it's a very gentle book. That I think the hardest part for me has always been getting the book to really land exactly the way I want in like thematic way, which aligns with the character decisions, which aligns with the emotional notes. I think that is the balancing act that's really tough in the last part of this book. I got closer on this draft. I don't know if it's 100% there, but I do feel better about it, and I think there's just like 2 tiny little things that I need to go at. And despite it being at parts a very light edit, I do think it made an impactful difference. So I'm pleased with it. I have less than a week before I leave for my camping trip, so I'm definitely a little kind of in very full gear. I have a lot of stuff I need to do before I leave, given that it's like back-to-back. It's a lot. Writing, I don't think is going to be the priority for me this week at all, especially with it being my last week. I have a lot of work to do, so writing is not the priority. If I do end up working on anything, it'll be that short story that I mentioned at the beginning of the vlog and just didn't end up working on because I just ended up focusing on those ghost edits. That's like the next thing that I'd like to get done. It shouldn't be a very long story. I think I'm just having trouble really kicking it into gear. I think with short stories, they usually follow one of 2 patterns. Beginning is really easy, and then I kind of get stuck and I have to like kind of push through the middle, and then the end clicks and it's easy. Or it's the opposite, where the beginning is really hard and I have to struggle through the beginning, and then it clicks, and then the second half will be easy. I'm just having a little bit of trouble clicking it all into place and building the momentum that I think I need. If I just commit to working on it a couple days, it'll happen, but I can't really say that writing is my priority this week. It is still something I would like to work on. I do like to write most days. Like, it is something that I like to do most days. Ideally almost every day, but I just have so much going on. It's just not really necessarily the priority. I have no idea how much writing I'm gonna do while I'm traveling. Thought of taking like almost 2 months off of writing is not appealing, so I would like to do something. Hard to really say what exactly that will be or how that will fit into my life. After this short story, I think what I would like to do next is read Over Saltbirds. So maybe I'll do that walk. Who knows? I don't know how much time I'm gonna have. But that is the next thing that I'm kind of looking at. I'm really eager to do that so I can start more clearly planning my revisions. And then when I get the chance, kind of be ready to just jump into the draft and do like a big edit on it. This was a strange, uneventful vlog that I feel like didn't have much writing in it. But I had just finished writing a book and it wrote quite quickly. And so I think, you know, I was taking it a little easy, and I don't really know. I don't know what the point of this vlog was, but I'm still gonna post it. So I hope you enjoy. I hope it was worthwhile. I hope it was entertaining. And if not, I'm sorry for the probably about 25 minutes of your life that you can't get back. I hope the next vlog is a little more interesting. Maybe it will be when I'm traveling. I don't know. I usually don't vlog when I'm traveling. I usually start and then usually something disastrous happens. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in another video. Bye.